Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. My name is Laughingboy, and I'm back with Tom Fawkes. Say hello. Heyo. And on the last episode, we talked a lot about streaming, just kind of how to get started and what the settings might have to look like, just kind of giving a basic rundown. Today, we're going to talk about just kind of what to expect when you are streaming. And to start off, I guess I kind of want to talk about time frame. Is there a time frame that you think would be an optimal time to stream in terms of viewership, availability?
I'd say it's similar to like primetime television, where you want to kind of hit the early evening to like not really late night, but like early to late evening, like, you know, around the time that like people, you know, on the Pacific Coast are just getting out of work and school, and people on the East Coast are like settling down. You know, maybe looking for something to watch before they go to bed.
Okay. So that would, yeah, that makes sense. Around,
and I guess in my personal case, I like to go from 6 p.m. Central Time to 10 p.m. Central Time. If I could swing it, I haven't really been best at keeping up that schedule.
But yeah, I guess that's definitely like a prime time setting.
Yeah.
Do you think like any particular days of the week work better?
Weekends, I'd say. Weekends are good. I'd say like Friday and Saturday are some of like the prime examples of like when to stream. But like during the week, there's like some times where it's like, I guess like Thursday is like early Friday. So like it's, you know, people can kind of catch on there. You know, like okay. Wednesday, like I'd say probably like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are probably the weakest days to stream. But like, you know, you get around that weekend area and there's going to be people looking for something to watch.
Okay. Now, when you're actually going live, well, how do you let your followers know that a stream is happening?
So one of the advantages that I had going into streaming with having a YouTube following was I would put out a video on my YouTube channel saying like, hey, I'm going live and whatnot. But like the issue there is that like with all like YouTube's algorithm whatnots and what have yous, you know, that could end up doing damage on the YouTube end. For having like, you know, a 30-second video just saying what I'm doing and where I'm gonna be like streaming and whatnot, and then deleting it soon after that. But so nowadays I'll post it like I'll make a post on Twitter. I'll make a post on Twitch has like a feed on there where like you can post stuff on there. So I'll post in that feed, and then YouTube has a community tab, and I'll post there whenever I'm going live to stream.
So that's actually a pretty new feature. Do you know? Can you talk a little bit more about the YouTube community tab? The
community tab, basically, I think of it, honestly, it's basically like a blog. Like you could just post, you just do like text posts, video posts, photo posts. I think you can actually link to external websites on there too. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I just want to check that for myself if you'll give me a moment to do so.
Yeah, no problem.
But there's, you know, it's just a nice way, like, you don't have to make an entire video to keep your community informed on things. You can put, it wasn't external links. You could just put external links in the post itself, but you could make polls as well.
Okay, so in effect, it almost kind of is there for that whole idea where all you are trying to do is just alert your viewers to something that's happening.
Yes, and it does appear it appears on the home site as well, but I think that's become a little bit more difficult. Like you know how like YouTube has like the home thing where like it just shows like, oh, these are the people you're subscribed to, and here's who you've been watching recently. It also shows like those posts as well. I don't know if it shows it on the PC one, but I know it shows it on YouTube mobile.
Yeah, it's extremely prevalent in the mobile app.
Yep. But I just use that like about an hour before I'm going live, and hopefully people are receptive to it.
I think it's on the sub page on PC, but don't quote me on that.
What?
I said I think it's on the sub page, like the subscriptions page. It might be on there.
I'm looking at the subscription page right now, although I have it in tile view. So if it's on the list view, then if there are posts made in the list view, then it might be there.
Maybe.
I think it might be right though.
So, and by the time this episode comes out, it may be totally different, but how how far ahead are you planning these announcements?
Well, generally I try to keep a consistent schedule of streaming, like for what days I stream. I've haven't been doing well keeping up with that, to be perfectly honest, but I try to post them an hour before I go live, and I think I more or less think about them like when I'm about to go live, because I never actually think about them. I always like forget like what am I gonna play, or to like choose something to play before I go live. So then I'm never like, by the time I'm like typing at the computer on the community post there, I'm like, oh shoot, what game am I gonna play today? And then I'll have to like look around the room. Then by the time I post, it's about like a half hour before I go live.
Okay. So
I'm not the best with that, but you know, it's one of those options to do what I say, not what I do. Because like those of you listening out there, you should probably like keep your audience informed well before I do.
Maybe at least an hour or so.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Now, do you think a lot of the announcements that you do make, do you believe that they improve that turnout?
Oh yeah, definitely, because it informs them. If they don't know when you're going live, then you know you don't, because like at least in my case, it became a thing where the people who are looking for when I'm going live are looking to YouTube mostly. So like when I would post like the videos on YouTube, like the people who watch my YouTube videos would see that announcement. If they, you know, they don't do things like follow me on Twitter, or they're not actively on Twitch, so they're not seeing like the channel feed and whatnot.
Right. Okay. So that does make sense, especially since trying to corral followers through different mediums might be a little bit more difficult.
I mean, it's kind of necessary though.
Yeah.
One of the things as well, I should be like tapping into Facebook as well. I do have like a Facebook page, but I just never post to it because I never think to post to it. I should much more often, but like maybe like copy some of the stuff I put on Twitter and post it on there. But like I had that for a little while. Like every one of my tweets would go to Facebook, but the issue with that became that I would post like multiple tweets, and it would end up being multiple posts on Facebook, where like multiple posts aren't, you don't need like multiple posts for one thought on Facebook. It should just be one post for one thought. Whereas Twitter, because it's so limited to how many characters you can post, then you kind of have to spread it out to multiple posts.
Yeah, that does seem to make it more difficult and tedious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was just from me auto posting my tweets to Facebook, but I mean, just probably a little copy paste thing would fix that.
Speaking of things that are difficult, how do you deal with talking to yourself?
I'll talk to the chat, and it's more one of those things where it's like I sort of like describe my thought process of like what's going on in the game, or if I think of something funny to say, or memes. That's always a crowd pleaser. But you just got you don't necessarily have to like keep talking always, but like just chiming in, often is doesn't hurt, especially when, it depends on the stream you're going for. If you're kind of going for like a more competitive thing, or a thing where it's like you really need like tight focus, then talking isn't really going to be an issue. Your gameplay is mostly going to be the thing doing the talking. But I do a much more casual thing, so talking is more like, getting like the communication in, like talking to the chat, talking to, people who are on the stream with me. So talking, it's not necessarily talking to myself once I got to that portion. It was talking to chat, like explaining thoughts and whatnot. Especially like, if you do have like an active chat, then like asking questions is always a good thing, because then you can kind of get your chat's point of view on things and be able to engage them more in conversation.
What kind of questions would you say, I guess, keep the chat most engaged?
Usually stuff about like the game, or like whatever game you're playing, or asking for their like opinions on something, or maybe even like advice. I mean, there's always the what is it? I don't remember who said this joke, but it's the three things you never talk about: religion, politics, sports. That follows suit in stream as well, except for I don't know why sports is on that list, but like although I guess in my case, because I don't think a lot of my viewership watches sports, so probably sports is off the table as well.
Just more as a common courtesy.
Yeah.
Now, do you let your chat dictate that commentary, or do you kind of believe it to be the other way around?
It's symbiotic, I'd say. I'll sometimes like start a conversation, the chat will run away with it, or like the chat will do something and I'll like keep bringing it up, or like it will, talk to them about it more. So it's a back and forth. It'll sometimes be that the chat dominates something and it'll dictate what I say, or I'll say something, it'll dictate what the chat does.
Okay.
I think very recently on a stream I had one thing where have you ever seen the Yoshi committed tax fraud meme?
Yes.
We were playing a bunch of Nintendo games on a Fortune Cookie stream one night, and we were like, well, I think it was Mario Tennis that came up. It's like, well, guys, even though he committed tax fraud, I think we're going to play as Yoshi, and then that just became the theme for the rest of the stream, was Yoshi committed tax fraud.
You just can't ask him any questions about tax fraud. No comments. So, yeah, I think one of the more important aspects, I think, of streaming is really just keeping that chat engaged. And, just really anything that you can do to make sure and maintain that engagement is really important.
Yep.
So rather than talking to yourself, do you often use co-commentary on your streams?
Not as often as I'd like. I kind of like, I don't know. I don't really like asking people, if they want to like co-com, because a lot of people would probably like, jump at it. Like the people I know would probably jump at the opportunity to. I'm not saying for exposure or anything. I'm saying because they're my friends and they would want to do it. But I always feel like I'm taking them out of what they want, of what they'd be doing if I want to do it. But that's just me entirely. Like that's something I kind of have to get over. But I do not use Coates commentary nearly as much as I would like to.
Okay, so when you do co-commentary, what program are you using?
So I guess it's whatever we're communicating with at the time. Like if it's some people I know use Skype, some people I know use TeamSpeak, some people I know use Discord. I think the Twitch app actually has voice functionality as well, like through Curse or something like that. But any one of those will work just fine. It's all being captured through through your whatever your playback output is onto the stream anyway, unless you have a separate output for it, which some people do have.
Right. So how do you choose the person that you want to talk to when you're streaming? Is it sort of a chemistry thing?
I think depends on the game we're playing, or I'm playing, or we're playing, I guess would be the proper term for it. But it would be like, if I'm playing a single player game, then it's like, generally I'm not going to have somebody on co-commentary because I don't want them to just be sitting there watching me stream while they're just like sitting there doing, piss all. Pardon my language. But like if it's a multiplayer game, usually who I'll pick for co-commentary is like, who do I know that likes this game? Okay. Who would be fun to play this game because they enjoy that game. It's like I've been doing like, recently I did like a Splatoon and Sea of Thieves with Josh Jepson because I know he likes those games.
So streamers will tend to use like very enticing overlays and sounds throughout the stream to kind of display new subs, display bits. I think recently you can even do it for followers and that sort of thing.
Yeah. You have to use like a third party thing, but yeah, you could like have detailed things on like what you go in there. In terms of like overlays that I use, most of it is just like I guess it depends on what you're talking about, but like in terms of like just overlays for like the stream in general and like all this other stuff, I'll have like the orange and blue sort of like theme going on there, and it just like persists throughout like all the different things I have on the stream there. Oh, now I'm losing my train of thought. Like in terms of like notifications, I use a program called Streamlabs. Not really a program, it's a website. You could have like you could link things like to Streamlabs and be able to like see like when people sub and whatnot, it comes up there. And I'll use, various things like recently I had like a tweet go viral that was like a screaming Quagsire thing. Oh, right. So I use that as a notification. Generally just like things I find to be like associated with the brand tend to do well in terms of notifications and whatnot.
And so you've already discussed that you're using Streamlabs. How is that set up? Would you be able to go into a little bit more detail?
Yeah, so in OBS, there is a thing there's a plugin you can get called Browser Source, which allows you to link pretty much just link a website to your stream. And that's how this works. It's sort of like an interactive window that you link into Browser Source, and then that will automatically play notifications when it detects that somebody is subbed or whatnot. And it's on the screen, it's completely invisible until somebody subscribes or something.
Yeah, and there are multiple ways that you can go about it. So how are you able to? Some people can do it very text based, and then of course you're able to add images or GIFs.
Yep, I guess GIFs and common audio files will work with that as well, or just PNGs or JPEGs for visuals if you don't want it animated.
And finally, I guess not finally, I have two more questions. Haha. So you've been known to use green screen a lot in your streams.
Oh yeah.
Did you purchase a particular product, or is it just a random, just kind of green sheet?
I had a couple. I had one before I started using the one I use now. It was like a portable photography green screen that I would have set up behind me, but I didn't have a stand for it, so I'd have to try and jerry rig it to make it stand on its own. But now I use the Elgato green screen for that, and that one's pretty good because you can it folds up kind of like a projector screen, so it's very convenient and easy to use.
Yeah, they've actually just recently, I think they unveiled it during our break, actually.
Yeah, I think they did as well.
But it's extremely portable, fits under your bed when you put it away.
Yep.
And it kind of works like the opposite of your modern day school projector, because it just opens up from the bottom.
Yeah. It's basically if you took one of those projector screens and turned it upside down and had a stand for it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually, and it's fairly affordable.
I think it's $100.
Affordable-ish.
Hold on, Elgato. I'm gonna Google this right now just to check.
Okay. And obviously I'll be posting the link in the description of the video for those of you watching.
It is currently unavailable on Amazon, so I don't know how much it is actually.
It's a mystery, but you'll be able to find out once you click the link in the description. And finally, do you have any recommendations about how to utilize a green screen? Do you have any lighting recommendations or anything like that?
You're going to want to get as much light on that green screen as possible. Biggest thing is you're going to want to make it so you basically want it to light it in a way where it's the most solid color of green you can get it. So that way when you go to
Oh, I'm sorry. So to make sure that you're getting it lit up, but you're not also casting a shadow over it as well.
Yep. The more solid of a green you make, the less color you have to key out when that's what it's called. It's called keying. But less color you have to key out when you're setting it up. The more color you key out, the more likely it is that some things won't some common objects that you have, or even your skin will be keyed out along with the green screen.
Yeah, and that's because the light reflecting off of the green screen will actually turn kind of the edges of your skin green, but you won't really see it.
That also depends on how it's lit as well.
Yeah,
if you have light at an angle, then yeah, it's gonna cause you to turn a little bit green there and cause you to fade out a little bit. But if you're playing in front of a monitor as well, and there's something happening on the screen, it's solid green, you're gonna fade out a little bit there.
Interesting. And next, what do you as a viewer want to see or hear in a broadcast that would make you stay/follow a streamer?
I don't know. I don't really know. That's the kind of thing where you think about it, where it's if I think this is entertaining, or if I don't think this is entertaining, then nobody else will, kind of thing. But that's not always the case. It's going to be different strokes for different folks.
Right.
But that's a noggin scratcher right there.
Well, I mean, like, this is more of a personal question that I was asking. It's, I guess, like, look at the people that you followed, and
honestly, like, I'll look for games that I'm interested first, and then I think this is how a lot of people will go about it. Actually, I look for games that I'm interested in, and if the person I'm watching is entertaining, then I'll give them a follow. There's really like nothing in particular I look for. I mean, it's really nothing I can't really describe what specific things I find entertaining, because you could find entertainment from multiple sources.
Right. Okay. This is more so a set of questions that are kind of more lighthearted in nature. So for those that are looking for like advice, this isn't really the thing. It's more so just kind of what would you do? But first off, you just kind of finished the stream. So how do you feel after
Depends on the stream. Really? I've been trying to learn how to speedrun Pikmin, so I usually leave those streams frustrated.
Okay. Wait, are you doing GameCube or Wii?
GameCube.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's better or worse.
In terms of like winding down, though, I don't really like have like a ritual for winding down. I'll just like finish the stream, maybe like get up, grab something to drink or something like that, come back to my computer and work on something else.
Okay. And then so we talked a little bit already about exporting since you record.
Yep.
You're also exporting these streams to YouTube?
Yes.
Are you using I guess you're not using Twitch's implemented exporter.
Because I'm recording them as I do them.
And we've talked about what settings would ensure the best quality.
Yep.
Do you believe there's a good reasoning behind exporting streams to YouTube? I mean, if you're able to simply save them to your Twitch channel, do you think that is there a good explanation to also export them to YouTube?
YouTube seems a little bit more permanent. When before Twitch was bought up by Amazon, there was a little bit of uncertainty where after a certain point your VODs would start getting deleted. So right. I mostly post my VODs to YouTube because of like it's a little bit more permanent. I actually also have a hard drive dedicated to just saving my streams onto there.
Okay. So you've actually keep a record of everything.
Yes.
How large is that hard drive?
It is, I think this is a 3 terabyte. No, it's more than 3 terabytes. It's a 4 terabyte, and I've got a 6 terabyte on my desk because the 4 terabytes almost filled up.
So it's on deck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that'll actually do it for today's episode, and a pretty good stopping point. On the next episode of Let's Talk, we will talk about the present day. Just get your thoughts and feelings on the current situation with YouTube and Twitch and all that. So we hope you guys will stick around, and we will see you on the next episode.